After our eerie encounter in the attic of Granduncle Archibald's Victorian estate, my friends and I were drawn deeper into the realm of the supernatural. In the estate's shadow-filled study, Regina, Archie, and Alistair joined me to pore over the documents left behind in Archibald's secret cabinet. Among these, a particular file titled, "The Ghost of Lakeside," captured our attention. Regina, ever the intrepid explorer, was immediately captivated by the mention of a ghost haunting the nearby Lake Windermere. Her fingers traced the faded ink as she read about the quaint town near Lake Windermere, a place once buzzing with tourists but now whispered about in hushed, wary tones. Her eyes sparkled with the thrill of the hunt, the allure of uncovering a story long buried in the shrouds of time. As she eagerly sifted through the aged papers, Archie and Alistair engaged in a fervent debate. Archie, a skeptic at heart, dismissed our previous experience as mere figment of our imagination, while Alistair, usually pragmatic, couldn't deny the unexplainable nature of what we had witnessed. This clash of beliefs only fueled our curiosity, and despite our initial reservations, we found ourselves irresistibly drawn to the idea of investigating the Lakeside ghost. Despite our mixed feelings, the prospect of unraveling the enigma of Lakeside was too enticing to ignore. Regina's enthusiasm was infectious, and even Archie couldn't hide his intrigue beneath his veneer of disbelief. Alistair, though cautious, agreed that further investigation might shed light on our recent experiences. Against our better judgment, the lure of unraveling another supernatural mystery proved irresistible. We began planning our journey to Lakeside with a mixture of excitement and unease. Archie, brimming with a skeptic's confidence, was eager to join, perhaps seeing it as an opportunity to dispel our beliefs in the paranormal with logical explanations. Regina's fascination lay in the tale of the lone woman of Lake Windermere, her adventurous spirit piqued by the enigma surrounding her tragic fate. As for myself, the prospect of facing the unknown once more was both daunting and intriguing, a chance to further challenge my own understanding of reality. Alistair, ever the voice of caution, expressed concerns over tempting fate, citing the inclement weather as a pragmatic reason to delay our expedition. Ultimately, he chose to remain at the mansion, delving deeper into the rich tapestry of Granduncle Archibald's documents, seeking clues that might shed light on our eerie experiences. As we approached Lakeside, nestled beside the tranquil Lake Windermere, the town's picturesque beauty unfolded before us, a stark contrast to the unsettling rumors that my uncle gathered in his research. The serene lake, reflecting the sky's changing moods, held a deceptive calmness, hiding the stories that lay beneath its surface. We had read tales of a ghostly woman, her spectral figure hauntingly gliding over the lake, her gaze eternally fixed on a solitary island at its heart. On our first night in Lakeside, we found ourselves enveloped in a dense opaque fog, adding a layer of mystery and anticipation to our quest. The lake's surface was eerily still, mirroring the heavy mist that shrouded its waters. Under the feeble light of a crescent moon, we keenly watched the misty expanse. Suddenly, a fleeting silhouette emerged, stirring our curiosity. It was but a brief glimpse before it dissolved back into the fog, leaving us questioning and eager for more. Regina, initially startled, quickly rationalized the fleeting vision. "It could have been anything," she remarked, skepticism lacing her tone, suggesting it was perhaps not the spectral apparition we anticipated. Undeterred, we lingered by the lake, the chill of the night air wrapping around us. Our patience was rewarded when the silhouette reappeared, this time startlingly close to our location on the shore. Tension gripped us as we debated whether to retreat or confront the unknown. However, our apprehension was soon dispelled when an elderly woman emerged from the mist, her smile tinged with melancholy, her eyes reflecting the sad serenity of the lake, a far cry from the beautiful young woman we were all expecting. The striking disparity between what we had envisioned and the actual figure that materialized before us evoked a mix of relief and a subtle sense of disappointment. The elderly woman greeted us in a voice as gentle as the lake's breeze. "We don't usually see tourists around Lake Windermere this time of the year," her tone carrying a hint of curiosity. Regina, now visibly relieved from her initial unease, engaged the old lady in conversation, sharing our interest in the old ghost story. The woman's eyes lit up with a spark of recognition at the mention of the tragic young woman. "Ah, you're here for Eleanor," she said, a nostalgic smile playing on her lips. "It's been ages since anyone came asking about her." The last was a tall man, with a perfectly groomed salt and pepper beard, quite the charmer, some 3 decades ago. I often wonder what became of him. Intrigued, I couldn't help but inquire further about Eleanor's story. "Does anyone here know exactly what happened to her?" I asked, eager for any detail that could shed light on the legend. Regina, equally curious, added, "Is there anyone still related to her in town?" The old lady's demeanor shifted, a shadow of sorrow briefly crossing her features. "Why, yes, dear," she replied, her voice softening. "She drowned," she said, her gaze drifting to the mist-covered lake, lost in memories of the past. Sensing the discomfort our questions had stirred, Regina gently intervened. "Let's not trouble her further," she whispered, as we watched the old lady slowly recede into the enveloping fog, leaving us with more questions than answers. In the days that followed, we immersed ourselves in the local lore of Lakeside, piecing together the fragments of Eleanor's heartrending story. The townspeople, initially reticent, gradually opened up, sharing tales of Eleanor, a spirited young woman as radiant as the shimmering waters of the lake and her deep love for a rugged fisherman with deep blue eyes. They would often escape to a secluded island in the middle of Lake Windermere, spending time under the protective boughs of a large oak tree that stood as a silent witness to their love. One day, their life was shattered when her lover mysteriously disappeared. Overcome with grief, Eleanor attempted to reach their island haven alone. Tragedy struck on an ill-fated day when a sudden storm transformed the lake from a calm refuge into a churning maelstrom. The exact events remained shrouded in mystery, but the grim outcome was undeniable. Eleanor's lifeless body was found ashore the following morning, cradled by the mist that had once been a curtain for her romance. The townspeople shared how Eleanor's father, in a final act of love and remembrance, had chosen her final resting place on the island they cherished, a solitary sanctuary amidst the lake. This tender gesture gave birth to the legend that Eleanor's spirit, unable to part from her beloved haven, would return with the morning mist. Accompanied by a melancholic wail, her ethereal presence was said to be witnessed by numerous locals over the decades, each sighting adding to the tapestry of her enduring tale. This blend of history and myth, woven through the generations, had firmly entrenched Eleanor's story in the heart of Lakeside, making her an inseparable part of its lore. Regina, driven by a blend of curiosity and compassion, sought out the elderly lady we had met by the lake for more insights. In their conversation, she uncovered a poignant connection. The lady was the fisherman's sister, the very man who had captured Eleanor's heart. With a voice tinged with sadness and nostalgia, she recounted memories of her brother, revealing little about his fate but sharing a significant detail: a locket he had intended to give Eleanor, a token of their love. This revelation added another layer to the tragic romance, intertwining the lives of those left behind with the legend of Eleanor. The old lady, her eyes brimming with a mix of fondness and sorrow, cradled the locket in her weathered hands. A single tear fell onto its aged surface as she reminisced about her brother's deep affection for Eleanor. He spoke of her with such warmth. "This locket was his promise to her," she said, her voice quivering with emotion. "I've held on to it for too long. It belongs with Eleanor." Regina accepted the locket with a respectful, gentle touch, carrying with her the weight of its sentimental value, and returned to us, her heart heavy with the old lady's touching story. On our final morning in Lakeside, we returned to the misty shores of Lake Windermere, filled with hope of witnessing Eleanor's spirit once more. The lake lay enveloped in a dense fog, its surface a canvas for the unfolding mystery. As we watched, a silhouette gradually materialized in the fog, closer to the shore. It was Eleanor, her ethereal presence almost tangible, her dress flowing around her like the very waters of the lake, her face etched with a sorrow that spoke of unending love and loss. Regina, holding the fisherman's locket tightly, stepped forward tentatively. Her eyes were wide, a mix of awe and understanding reflecting in them. Archie, usually dismissive of such tales, stood in silent reverence, his usual skepticism faltering in the face of this undeniable apparition. I, too, was captivated and overwhelmed by our encounter with the supernatural. Regina, with a gentle motion, opened the locket to reveal the small, delicate portraits of Eleanor and the young fisherman, frozen in time. Eleanor, drawn to the locket, glided past us, her wail softening into a gentle hum, a smile of profound sadness and gratitude playing on her lips. Her gaze lingered on Regina and the locket, a silent acknowledgement of the love and memories it held. We remained at the water's edge, silently observing as Eleanor's graceful form glided across the lake, her movements an ethereal dance between light and shadow. Then, as if released from a long-held bond, she dissolved into the morning mist with a final farewell and a faint, haunting echo, like a whispered thank you. Regina, her voice tinged with a somber realization, broke the silence. "The old lady meant for Eleanor to have it," she said, understanding Eleanor's deep connection to the token of her lost love. Archie, though initially stunned into disbelief, expressed a hesitant nod, his usual skepticism softened by the morning's events. Motivated by a shared desire to bring Eleanor peace, we decided to honor her memory in our own way. We carefully boarded a small boat, the water gently lapping against its sides, and made our way to the island. There, amidst the serene beauty of her final resting place, we placed the locket on a shrub overlooking her grave, each of us offering a silent prayer, hoping this gesture would bring some measure of solace to her restless spirit. We left Lakeside the same day with heavy hearts, touched by Eleanor's story. Her apparition, a poignant reminder of love's enduring power, even beyond death, haunted us long after we departed. The mysteries of the supernatural world, once again, had unveiled profound truths, etching themselves into our souls. We were left to ponder the ultimate fates of Eleanor and her lover. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe to our channel.